What's going on guys, it's your boy Mr. Woz, and today I'll be showing you how to organise your Runescape bank to the point where you won't have to mess around with it ever again, and I'll also give you some tips as well later on in the video. Now before I get into this, I just want to say that I'm so happy that I'm uploading a new video. I know it's been about a year since my last one, but I do apologise for not uploading. It is due to work and other commitments that I've got going on at the moment. I'm also starting to stream on Twitch again, and I would love to see all of my viewers and subscribers there, and my Twitch link will be in the description below. Okay, so here is my bank. The value has dropped quite a bit as I spent a lot of GP getting 200ml prayer, and I'm currently 88ml XP right now. I did also get hats recently for 400ml, but I am fairly close to getting that back through raids 3, so it could be worse. But it's not about that, it's about organising your bank. Okay, so here is the main tab, and as you can see it's very minimal, not much going on here, but I have a nice cash stack at the top, which I feel like most people do this, if not everyone does this. I've got my diary items, which is very much needed for a number of things such as clues, skilling or just teleporting around. I have a few untradables like my marks of grace, shards, etc. I will get round to using them all at some point. And of course I've got my max cape just because I use it all the time to teleport to my house, etc. So I thought that would be easy to have that at the top next to my cash stack. I actually have a lot of enhanced crystal keys for some reason. I did spend around 30ml on those at the time. Don't really know why I did it, I was just really bored at the time. After creating those keys I thought, you know what, I could actually make a video on this to see how much GP I can make. Also, I have some brimstone keys, which is another video idea, but I might wait till I get around 100 keys just to make the video worth doing. Now the two items on the right are very special to me as they are my two items I've got my 200ml. So this was the last log from my wood cutting, and this was the last Korambuan I got after my 200ml. The reason why I poisoned it is because it has its own placeholder, and also if I kept the cooked one then of course it will stack with the other Korambuans I have in my bank, if that makes sense. Now let's start with the gear tab. As you can see every item is in a specific order. So first my melee gear, as you can see I've got my bandos, prims, torture etc. in a nice line so it's easy to gear up, save my range gear and my magic gear. Then on the right hand side I've got my void elite, and below is all my weapons that I use. There isn't many as I don't want to hoard my bank with items that I don't use. There are a few placeholder items that I don't own right now, but I will in the future once I earn a bit more GP from raids or just PVMing in general, so fingers crossed with that. On the bottom row I have my crystal armour which I use for raids at the moment, proselyte, I've got my slayer helms, and on the right hand side I have my ammunition from my ranged weapons along with my cannon. So as you can see so far it's very minimal and it's easy to gear up without spending ages on finding a specific item. I know everyone is different when it comes to organising their bank, everyone has their own way of doing things, but if you like what you see so far you're more than welcome to copy my bank layout and make it look nice. Now moving on to the next tab, which is my stock. This is probably my favourite tab as it looks so clean and simple. I just have all the potions that I use for PVMing. I don't really clutter my bank up with every potion in the game, but I do have them in a specific order like my super combats with my supersets, along with my prayer potions and restore potions that are together as well. And at the bottom I have all my grimy and cleaned herbs. Now you're probably thinking, why do I have every single herb? And the reason is when you're doing Slayer or any PVM for that matter, 9 times out of 10 you're going to receive the herbs from your trips, and at least when you bank your herbs they will be in a specific order, so if you want to withdraw them for herb lore or you want to sell them you know exactly where they are. Also if you're doing herbivore you will receive a lot of herbs as well, so that's another reason to tidy up your herb section. And in the bottom right corner I just have some food which is all I need and my herb sack to empty out my herbs. Now moving on to the second stock tab, which is my runes. Not much to say here, just have my rune pouch, some runes and a few teleports, and that is pretty much it. Next is my loot tab. Again, not much to say here, but I have sold a lot of my loot recently so it looks a bit bare at the moment. But in this tab it doesn't really matter where the items go as you'll be selling them anyway. Unless you're an Iron Man then I suppose put them in a specific order so it looks nice and clean. Next is my farming tab. Now I don't really do herb runs, only trees, hence why it looks so minimal. So as you can see I have my graceful, a few seeds that I've gathered over time, and just your basic farming supplies for tree runs. Next is my clue tab. Now when it comes to clue scrolls, you are required to need a bunch of random items, hence why this tab looks a bit random, but it is what it is. And last but not least, we have our junk tab. I think most people have a tab like this. Obviously self-explanatory, but all the items in here do have some use, but yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this tab. So that is my bank overall, and just to show you how minimal it is, I have 374 items out of 840, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, including myself, have maxed out the bank tabs. But yeah, don't worry, I'm going to give you some tips to make your bank look even better and make it a lot easier to organise. So tip number 1, let's start off with bank tabs. I only have 2 right now as I recently finished tidying my bank, and to be honest I wanted a break as it takes a while to make your bank look nice and neat. But bank tabs are very underrated as this will help you gear up for any PVM content as well as skilling. So here is one of my tabs which is for Tombs of a Mascot. Now I have all my items laid out in a very specific order as I can simply take out these items and I'm good to go instead of searching for the items in different tabs, etc. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. So as you can see, when I take out all of my items, they are placed in the exact way I want them in my inventory, so no need to move my items around after withdrawing them. I will make a separate video on this in more detail as it will make life so much easier when gearing for PVMing or skilling. Now for those who don't know how to make a bank tab, I'm going to show you now. So all you've got to do is go into your bank and click on the plus symbol at the top left, and then you can create a name which could be anything you like, but for this video I'm going to call this example. Now that's done, just click on the tab that you created, and now this is where you put your PVMing items or skilling items in this tab. To move your items in the new tab, just simply go to a specific item in your bank. So for example, I'll move my melee gear by simply dragging the items to the tab, and it's really that simple. You can also change the icon of your tab by right clicking and select change icon. You can type in anything you like, obviously Runescape related. So if you're doing a farming tab for example, you can type in farming or farm, and as you can see it will come up with a list of icons for you to choose. Simply click on one and that is it. Having a specific icon just helps you find your tabs easier and quicker. The next tip is the wise old man. This is another underrated way to clear out some of the junk in your bank. If you go to Draenor Village, just north of the bank you will see the wise old man. Talk to him and select check items for junk, and a box will appear on the screen to show you all the unneeded quest items or junk if you want to call it that you don't need anymore. Make sure the all option at the top is selected and simply click on remove all at the bottom right, and that should free up a bunch of space in your bank. Now the next tip is another underrated one, and that is the incinerator. This just simply destroys your items permanently. So in your bank at the bottom left you'll have the incinerator icon. If you don't see this then not a problem, this can be turned on by accessing the settings found in the top right of your bank, then clicking the incinerator option. This is perfect to get rid of your items that you cannot note, especially if you have thousands of them, such as jug of bad wine for example. And the last tip will be placeholders. Now this is the most important one as this will keep your bank looking perfect at all times. So for example, as you can see in my gear tab I have full ancestral. If I withdraw the hat top and bottom, the items are technically still in my bank but just as a placeholder. So when I deposit those items after I've just done Slayer or anything PVM for that matter, they'll be in the exact position from when I withdrawed them. Now if my placeholders was turned off, so let's withdraw my ancestral again, the items will get removed from my bank. As you can see it's got a blank space, and once I close my bank all the other items will move up one space, which will then mess up my entire tab. Obviously I'm not going to give you an example as I don't want my bank tab getting messed up. So to turn this on, just simply click on the padlock till it goes red. This is next to where you search for items, and it's also next to where you choose your quantity to withdraw items as well. This is a lifesaver, so please turn this on. So there it is guys, that is how to organise your bank in 2022. Like I said at the start of the video, if you want to copy my bank layout then you're more than welcome. Make sure you leave a like, comment if this video has helped you out, and of course subscribing to the channel would be amazing too. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.